All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the bishops, great millstones, salutations to all occupying out there pushing this truth in all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. I'm the brother Shamar Ma from Great Millstone, Miami, also from the camp of Great Millstone, Southwest Florida, out in the Fort Myers area, coming to you, Akiyama Akwath, with another quick lesson. The Lord's will this lesson be quick, edifying, and straight to the point. All right. And I pray and hope that this lesson also serves as a comfort, exhortation, and a reproof. Okay. The title of this lesson is going to be, matter of fact, let me see, get it real quick. All right. The title of this lesson is going to be "The Pain is Temporary, the End Result is Eternal." All right, the pain is temporary, the end result is eternal. Okay. The reason behind this lesson is because as of late, the past 2 days, I've been noticing a lot of people have been, posting and sharing, picture quotes or just putting in their, statuses or whatever the case may be. And what they've been, sharing and expressing is that the Lord never promised a easy life, all right, so to say, and which is true. Okay, when we enter into this faith, the scriptures tell us that we make ourselves a prey. All right, when we are chosen and selected by the Lord, or I should say called by the Lord, because many are called, few are chosen. We're working and praying and hoping that we are of that chosen. But when you are called into this faith, and we make the conscious decision through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to serve the Lord, all right, the world becomes an enemy against us, okay, and everything becomes a friction against our spirit, man. All right, whether it be at home, whether it be your own body, whether it be at work, whether it be your own mind. All right, it's a constant battle. Okay, but as for us being believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we have to understand and internalize and keep in mind that the pain that we experience, all right, during this walk is temporary, man. All right, all that crying or all that suffering that we go through, that's only for a moment. Okay, when Yahweh Shai returns, all right, he's going to return with healing. All right, with healings, he's going to return and deliver us and take us to our land where we will be at peace and be at rest forever. All right, that's why the latter end of this title says that, man. The end result will be eternal, because that's exactly what it is, man. So instead of letting the day to day and the situations that we find ourselves completely destroy us, all right, we are to remain faithful, all right, to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and we are to endure. Okay, we are to always choose. We must always choose to endure and remain faithful, rather than letting the pain that we're experiencing breed resentment within our spirit. Okay, so with that being said, I want to get a few precepts to edify the point and close out. All right, the first precept that I want to get, which we all know, is in the book of Second Timothy. I don't know why I said Second Peter. All right, Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. All right, and it reads, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." Okay, and that's a plain statement, man. All right, we are to endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, let me see what the GNT says concerning this precept. All right, 2 Timothy 2 and 3. All right, it says 2 Timothy 2 and 3 in the GNT. It says, take your part in suffering as a loyal soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, we are to take part of that suffering, man. All right, and the reason why we are to take part in that suffering is because, simply put, all right, what is that in Romans 8? Romans 8. All right, if we say we want to receive salvation, if we say that we want to receive that glory with Yahushua, we must suffer with him, man. This is the book of Romans 8 and 17. It says, I started 16. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God, and if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. All right, so that's why we must take part in this suffering, man. Okay, we have to understand and remember that when Yahushua walked the earth, he went through suffering as well, man. Okay, and guess what, man? The servant is not greater than his master. And being that we're his servants and he's our master, we are to take part in those sufferings as well, man. Scriptures talk about that, man. Partakers. Let me get that real quick. Shoot. Bear with me. What is that? And being that we are partakers in this suffering with Yahushua, we should actually take that as a good thing, man. All right. Matter of fact, that's let me see. All right, this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 12. It says, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try you. So when these situations arise, we're not supposed to think it's strange, man. All right, when we find ourselves in these particular scenarios, okay, we're not supposed to think it's strange at all, man. All right, because we're supposed to understand that these situations that the Lord has placed us in, all right, if it was too much for us, he would not have placed us in it to begin with. Remember, the Lord gives us what we're able to handle, and even with that, he gives us an escape route, which is him. All right, that's why when we find ourselves in these scenarios where we feel like the suffering or the pain is immense, the only thing that we should have in mind to do is to cast our burdens upon the Lord. All right, because doing that, we're going to realize that it is the Lord that sustains us through these particular scenarios, man. Okay. All right. It says, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Verse 13, but rejoice, okay, in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings. All right, so we're supposed to rejoice. That's why when we read, was that Sirach, the 2nd chapter, he tells us when our change to lower state, we're supposed to take it cheerfully. Okay, we're supposed to count it all joy when we fall into these diverse temptations. Okay, it says, but rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. And the reason why is because why? Yahushua is coming with that peace. He's coming with the rest, the eternal rest for the nation of Israel. He's coming with salvation, man. He's coming to wipe those tears from off our faces, man. He's coming to heal those broken and mended hearts, okay, that we may have. All right, those bodily ailments that we have. Okay, it's better to, what the scripture says, better to go into the kingdom maim, okay, than to die out here whole. Roughly paraphrase, man. So we go to the Lord and we await for him, man. All right, no matter what it is that we're going through, whatever we had to sacrifice, that whatever we had to put to the side, all right, whatever the Lord took away from us, whatever pain we may have gone, we rely on the Lord and wait for him, so that way when he returns, all right, we get delivered and he grants us, all right, that well deserved peace and or rest, or if it was whatever we sacrifice, we get it back 100-fold, man. Okay. So back to Second Timothy. I keep saying Second Peter. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3 again. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." All right, so we're not supposed to be too invested, okay, in this world, okay, and that a lot of times that's really what it is when we find ourselves in these particular pains and sufferings, is because we know internally that we can't be too invested in this shit, but the flesh wants to be invested, so it becomes a real battle within ourselves, all right, within our members, our spirit being willing and knowing what it's supposed to do, but the flesh being weak, man. All right, but when Yahushua returns, man, all that is going to be put to the side, man, and we're going to be good forever, okay? All right, and the reason why I brought out Second Peter's, I keep saying Second Peter, Salaki. The reason why I brought out Second Timothy was because we have to understand that soldiers are trained for conflict, for discomfort, and sacrifice, man. So the Lord already told us that we're supposed to be His soldiers. So we're supposed to arm our minds, okay, to understand that it's going to be a constant conflict that we're going through. We're going to be constantly moving in discomfort. All right, we're going to have to constantly make sacrifices, man. Okay, but that's okay, because the more we make sacrifices, the more we're discomforted in this place. That should drive us more to want the kingdom, man. Okay, where we know we're going to be comforted in the kingdom forever. All right, where we know that sacrifice that we made on this side is going to be well rewarded, all right, in the kingdom to come, man. Okay. This is the book of Matthew. But the thing is, too, all right, with all this endurance, we have to make sure that we endure all the way to the end, man. All right, this is not no temporary thing, All right, this truth ain't about, all right, you suffering and going suffering and going through your emotions temporarily. Nah, this is a endurance, man. It's not a sprint. This is not something that's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just suffer today and then tomorrow everything's gonna be okay. Nah, man. Sometimes you're gonna have to just constantly, go through these these cycles of going through discomfort, man. Going through sacrifice. All right, constantly, man. All right, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to put off the flesh more and more, man. Okay, but nonetheless, while doing that, we're supposed to endure. Okay, endure, make hard. We're supposed to be made hard to these scenarios and these situations that we find ourselves in. All right, this is the book of Matthew 24 and 13, and it reads, But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So we have to keep that in mind as well, man. When we find ourselves, all right, being pressed, hey, man, we got to remind ourselves, hey, man, we got to endure to the end, man. What you going to let this little situation sidetrack you or choke you out, choke your faith out? Then guess what? When all hell breaks loose and the skies are filled with chariots, all right, and the believers are getting delivered because you put the truth to the side to feel some type of comfort in this world for a little season. Guess what's going to end up happening? You're going to die with these people out here, man. Remember Moses, man. The scriptures tell us that Moses had, you know what? Let me see if I can grab that real quick. What is that? In Hebrews 11. Salakia, brothers. No, that's not Hebrews. I'm tripping. No, it is. All right. Hebrews 11 and 24. It says, by faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, which came with what? Immense luxury, pleasures, all right, comforts in Egypt. Okay, but he refused to be called Pharaoh's daughter, man. I meant son. All right, the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, man. All right, he turned that status down, man. All right, he put all that shit off. For what? Okay, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Again, it goes back to what? That the flesh is the one that's crying out to want to be comforted and comfortable and okay in this society. All right. And guess what? A lot of people that's comfortable here, that don't make sacrifices to serve the Lord here, they are drowning in sin. Okay? So it's a constant battle of us refraining from sin. That's where the pressure comes from, man. Your flesh wanna be out here active in a wicked world, man. But we have to keep ourselves in check, man. Okay, serving the Lord, keeping our faith, understanding and remembering that this pain that we're feeling, this exclusion, or all right, I believe that's the right word I want to use. Exclusion. Let me make sure to be excluded. All right. Oh shoot. Yep, exclusion. It says the act of keeping something or someone out, or the state of being deliberately left out, denied access, removed from consideration. So the constant, exclusion of being a participant, all right, in this active world is a good thing, man. Okay, because the more we exclude ourselves from the world, all right, although the flesh may cry like a little baby about it, the more chances we have of inheriting something better when Yahushua returns, man. All right, and that's why it's a thing of constantly enduring, constantly fighting the flesh. All right, again, this is not just a one day thing where today you endure, today you fighting, and tomorrow you don't got to. No, it's a constant. All right, Sirach, the 2nd chapter. I quoted it, and I'm gonna go get it. All right, Sirach 2, it says to constantly endure, man. Okay, Sirach 2:2, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. So we're supposed to constantly endure, man. All right, it's supposed to be a steady pace of us enduring. Remember, again, this is an endurance. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go back to the book of Romans real quick. Romans 8, and I'm going to read verse 18. This is the book of Romans chapter 8. In verse 18, it says, for I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us, man. So again, man, the sufferings of this present time, it hurts. It hurts like a bitch sometimes, man. Let's just keep it quite frank. All right, but guess what? That shit is nothing compared to the glory that Yahushua is going to come with, and that, Lords will be found of that number. We're going to be partakers of, man. Are you serious? We talking streets of gold. We talking forever life. Forever life. Think about that. Eternal life. To be able to live forever. To be able to... It's people out here chasing the fountain of youth right now in these days, man. It's Edomites drinking blood to try to stay young. But we're going to have that naturally when Yahushua returns, man. All right, no pain at all, no schisms, no pain in our body whatsoever. Okay, mind always clear and pure. Okay, no constant demons trying to bicker in your head, man. That's what's coming, man. Your wife in order. All right, your children in order. Okay, the earth in order. All right, that's what's coming. That's what's on the horizon for us, man. Okay, so guess what, man? I'd rather hold on to the faith, hold on to my hope. Okay, knowing and understanding that this hell I'm going through is just a temporary moment. Pretty soon, Yahushua is coming with deliverance, man. I'd rather hold on to that than to cast away all this great promises that the Lord has told us that he was going to give us just to enjoy sin for a season, man. And we all have to be in that mindset. Okay? All right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 21, in verse 4. No, matter of fact, you know what? Before I get that, let me see. I think I had another precept that I wanted to get. We'll just go to it and see. Yep. This is the book of Psalms 25, and I'll read verse 16. It says, "Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted," as we all are, man. Okay, but guess what? We're calling unto the Lord to turn unto us and have mercy upon us, right? Verse 17, "The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Oh, bring thou me out of my distress." All right, and that's what we're asking the Lord to do, man, to bring us out of our distress. And guess what? He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And every day when we find ourselves in pain, so to say, all right, going through some type of suffering or some pain, guess what? Turn to the scriptures. Turn to the Holy Bible, and I guarantee you, you're going to be comforted. You know, and I say that because I've experienced it, man. All right, going through hell. All right, feeling the pressure, the squeeze, so to say. All right, and then turn into the scriptures like Lloyd used to always tell us, man. Read Psalms, man. Pick up your Bible and read Psalms, man. And then guess what? You read it, and then you're immediately comforted. All right. A second ago, you probably was just sitting there down in the dumps, so to say. All right, mind full. Okay, feeling the pressure. You read the Psalm, then you once you finish closing the book, you perk up. You join. You jumping up and down. You know, you call on him like Yabashim outside. Next thing you know, all you seeing is, 144 here, 144 there, 444 here, 777 there. All right, you look up, you see a chariot. All right, you grab your phone, somebody text you and just randomly, random number text you and say, the Lord love you, right? Like, come on, man. All right. So we have to keep that in mind, man, knowing that, this is just temporary. All right. It's just temporary. It's just for a moment. All right. But the glory is going to be eternal. The rest is going to be eternal. Okay. That rejoicing, that healing is going to be eternal, man. Okay. Revelation 21:4. "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." Remember that. This thing right now, this existence that we're in right now, all right, it's going to be a thing of the past once the chariots fill the skies, man. And we're near that point. King Charles just sat on that throne looking like the Apostle Ariamlov said, looking like a pig with a gold snout. All right. This dusty caveman just sat there and said that he's gonna, that the world need to understand that we're gonna move and be introduced into a digital system, man. The chip is being talked about all day, every day. All right, the war in the Levant region, the Middle East region, all right, which they call it the Middle East. It's just West Asia. All right, is intensifying more and more. The divide of the Babylonians going against each other is a real thing, man. Okay, it's a real thing. Pretty soon it's gonna spill out in the streets. Okay, people don't care about what DJ Trump has to say no more, man. That goes into what, 2 Ezra the 15th chapter, man. All right, where it tells us that they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, man. Okay, the allied nations of America are beginning to look down upon Babylon, man. All right, we're in some beautiful times, man. Don't let this the shit that goes around in our lives, all right, don't let it steal our joy, man. Let's just stay focused, man. All right, so with that, Lord's word, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim Rechak Kodash. Double honors again to my apostles, my elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone, and salutations to all Akim out there pushing his truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. Shalom.